What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kenzo for Life here, and today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty's biggest mistake in Season 4 Reloaded. Look, Call of Duty has made its fair share of mistakes, but what they just did with Season 4 Reloaded, this one feels different. This might just be the thing that breaks the whole damn game for a lot of people. It's like your favorite restaurant suddenly deciding to sell out, changing all the classic recipes to use cheaper ingredients and hoping you won't notice. They're not just selling skins anymore. They're selling out a promise. We're going to break down the insane monetization that has the community completely fed up, and why this might be the real final straw. Call of Duty has an identity crisis, and we have to talk about it. So, Season 4 Reloaded was supposed to be this big mid-season refresh, right? A chance to breathe some new life into the game, fix bugs that have been around forever, and maybe, just maybe, shake up the meta. The community was actually looking forward to things like the new cel-shaded look for Rebirth Island, and the addition of Resurgence ranked play. But after a delay, the update finally dropped on July 2nd, and all that excitement just vanished instantly. Because instead of a game that felt refreshed, we got a game that felt like a mall. The second you log in, you're not greeted by new ways to play. You're assaulted by pop-up kiosks and billboards. The focus isn't on gameplay. It's on the Beavis and Butthead crossover, complete with its own premium event pass. This wasn't just another bundle. It's like paying for a concert ticket, only to find out you have to pay a separate fee for every band that comes on stage. It's another paywall. Another fee stacked on top of the existing Battle Pass and the premium Black Cell option. The message couldn't be clearer. Their priority wasn't fixing the game. It was finding new ways to make us pay for it. As one Reddit user put it, they stopped caring about making the game fun and just care about assets to buy. This isn't just a misstep. It's like a master chef who stopped listening to what his diners want and is just throwing expensive, bizarre ingredients into every dish. So let's really break down this monetization machine, because it's coming at your wallet from every direction. First up, you've got the new normal, the event pass. The Beavis and Butthead event is a perfect example. What are Beavis and Butthead doing here? They have nothing to do with Call of Duty. Sure, there's a free track, but anything you'd actually want is locked behind the paywall. These are mini battle passes designed to feel like your cable subscription suddenly offering a dozen new premium plus packages every month, pressuring you into spending more just to feel like you're getting the full experience. We saw it with the Boys collaboration, and now it's just becoming standard. Then you have the bundle prices themselves. Crossover bundles often cost north of $20 for a couple of cosmetic items. And yeah, I know, Warzone is free to play. But that excuse is getting old. That's like an airline saying the air on the plane is free, but then charging you $20 for a seatbelt. It's an insulting justification, especially for everyone who still buys the $70 game every single year. But it gets even sneakier. The biggest scam might be the lack of cross-attachment skins. It's like buying a custom painted car, but the moment you adjust your mirrors or change the tires, the expensive paint job just flakes off those parts, leaving ugly primer underneath. You buy a sick looking blueprint, but the second you swap an attachment to make it actually usable in the meta, poof, the skin you paid for is gone. It feels completely intentional, designed to make sure no single purchase ever feels finished. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Season 4 saw them testing unavoidable ads inside your loadout menu. Imagine trying to pick an outfit from your own closet, and a salesman pops out and forces you to watch a commercial. After everyone lost their minds, Activision pulled it back, calling it a UI feature test that got out by error. But nobody's buying that. It felt a lot more like they were testing the water to see what they could get away with, a preview of a future where every single menu has a price tag. But this goes deeper than just money. It's about respect, or the complete lack of it. Let's be honest. For a lot of people right now, the game is just plain boring. All the focus is on pumping out stuff they can sell, not on making the game better. It's like living in a house where the only cares about putting fancy new art in the foyer while the roof is leaking and the plumbing is broken. Just look at the actual state of the game. For weeks, people have been screaming for basic playlists, like standard solos and trios. Cheating still is a massive problem, and the servers still feel like they're built on stilts. But you know what part of the game works perfectly? The store. The part that takes your money is flawless, while the foundation of the house is crumbling. There's this huge disconnect where the community is shouting about what's wrong, and it feels like it all goes into a black hole while they just double down on monetization. These new crossover skins, like the cartoonish Beavis and Butthead operators, are just eyesores to a huge part of the player base. It feels like watching your favorite gritty rock band suddenly start making terrible pop music to chase a trend. People feel like Call of Duty is losing its soul and trying way too hard to be Fortnite. The whole grounded, semi-realistic vibe that got us all hooked is just gone. And of course, we have to talk about the pay-to-win stuff that never seems to die. In Season 4 Reloaded, people are calling out certain weapon blueprints for giving you a real advantage. The atomic beam blueprint for the MTZ-556, for example, is said to have no smoke or screen shake, giving anyone who buys it a huge visual advantage in a gunfight. When you can buy an edge, it's no longer a fair fight. It's like a foot race where some runners can pay for lighter shoes or a smoother lane. The whole competitive playing field becomes a joke. For a lot of us who've been playing for years, Season 4 Reloaded just feels different. It's like a bad magician who has stopped even trying to hide the strings. They just wave the props around and expect you to still be amazed. The illusion that they care is gone. The aggressive monetization has always been there, but putting ads in the loadout screen wasn't just greedy. It was a slap in the face that showed zero respect for our time. This constant flood of new events, each with its own price of admission, makes the game feel less like a hobby and more like a checklist of chores designed to get you to open your wallet. You can feel this exhaustion setting in across the community. You see two camps forming online. You got the people who are still fighting, making videos like this, and blowing up the comments. But then you have the people who just given up That's the scariest part. It's like a relationship where one person stops even bothering to argue. Because when your players lose hope, they're not far from just leaving for good. The problem is, Call of Duty is turning into a game that doesn't reward you for being loyal or for being good. It rewards you for spending money. The core players are being shoved aside for a business model that feels like a classic neighborhood pub being sold to a corporation that only caters to one-time tourists. The regulars who built the place are ignored. This isn't just one bad season. It's a trend that's changing the DNA of Call of Duty. And a lot of us are worried that the game we loved is just gone. So, what's the fix? It's easy to sit here and complain, but what's the actual answer? The obvious one everyone always says is vote with your wallet. But that's like trying to bail out the ocean with a bucket while a fire hose of new players is constantly refilling it. Still, it's the only real power we have. If enough of us stop buying, they'll notice. And for the developers, the answer isn't just get rid of all microtransactions. We get it. It's a business. The answer is to find some damn balance. It's about putting the health of the game first. They're treating the symptoms with snake oil instead of addressing the underlying disease, which is a buggy and boring game. A game that's stable and fun, will keep players around. And players will stick around, are way more likely to spend money because they feel like their investment of time and money is respected. They could even get creative with it. Imagine if you could actually earn premium stuff by playing the game. Imagine if the blueprints you bought actually kept their cool look when you put on the attachments you need, instead of that paint flaking off the car feeling. It's about changing their whole mindset from a con artist, how can we get a quick score, to a craftsman's, how can we give them something that actually worth their money. At the end of the day, the biggest mistake in Season 4 Reloaded wasn't a bad map or a broken gun. It was a business decision. It was the moment it felt like the mask came off and the franchise just stopped pretending to care about the players. This combination of greedy monetization, insulting ads, and total neglect for the core game has created this massive backlash from the community. It's a slap in the face to millions of us who have poured our time, our passion, and our money into this series for years. So, the question is this just how it is now? Do we just have to accept it? Or is there a line they can cross that will actually make them listen? If any of this hit home for you, if you're sick of being treated like a walking ATM, do me a favor and hit the like button. It really helps push this conversation out to more people. Subscribe if you want to see more honest takes on the games we play. And most important, share the video. Let's get loud enough that they can't ignore us. I want to know what your personal final straw moment was. Drop it in the comments below. I read all of them, and I really want to know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay frosty.